Hi viewers, I want to welcome you to this video section, and in this video section I would like to share with you interesting and fascinating scientific news that I got to read about in this month of June 2025. And I believe that sharing this news with you, also you will find it interesting and very fascinating. The first one I'll be sharing with you is about human animal chimera, where human cells are grown in animal embryo. So it's like you are trying to develop animals that have humans organ. And the second one is about a recently released funding for development of programmable plants. You can imagine what's going on in science, where scientists are trying to develop animals that carries human organs, and at the same time people are getting funded in order to develop plants that are programmable. Basically, the project is to develop a synthetic and artificial plant chromosomes. That's quite fascinating. So those are the two news I'll be discussing in this video section, and I would like to hear your feedback about these two interesting what do you think? To what extent do you think we should go in science in trying to use different fascinating techniques that we have now in this 21st century, especially those involving genome editing and those involving in manipulation of genome in humans, animal, plants, and in different organisms that we have. So basically, I'll be talking briefly about these two interesting news, and I believe you also find these two to be very fascinating. So about the human animal chimera, it's a human pig hybrid. The human animal chimera involves growing human cells in animal embryo, particularly in this research, in this latest research that where this work was done. What they did was that they tried to create like a pig embryo. They worked with pig embryo, and which they created a pig embryo that lacks some gene required to develop some particular organ, in this case heart. So it means that the pig embryonic cell could not generate heart as an organ. And while this embryo was growing, they tried to inject human stem cells so that human stem cells in pig embryo could generate this organ, which is also important for the survival of the embryo. And this work was successful, although the pig embryo with human heart only survived for 21 days. But yet it's very fascinating to see this kind of work being done in science, and particularly it was done in China. Although such work could have ethical issues and concerns, but yet it's already done. And the importance of such work, as stated, is that maybe in future we could have animals that have different human organ which can be used in organ transplantation, to address the issue of shortage of organs for transplantation. And this is like the focus and I'll say like the application of this particular research work. So for the first time we are having a report of pig embryo that has an heart containing human generated from human stem cells. So it's quite fascinating, and I believe that you also find this very interesting, and I would like to also hear your view. Yes, about the second fascinating news, which I also believe you also find very fascinating, is about the awarding of funds for to develop programmable plants. That's quite huge, and I believe that this is a great investment, which also could change the course of things in the field of agriculture. And this news was from Cambridge, like from Cambridge websites, so you can also check it out and just read about it. And this is somehow promising because, in a way, it means that in future we could have plants that we could have an artificial plant that carries any characteristics that we want, which could be of benefit even to us. And this is how things are changing even in the world of science and biology. So the project is divided into two parts. So first part is to develop a synthetic plant, like a programmable plant. But the focus is to develop an artificial chromosome and chloroplast which could survive in a living plant. So you can imagine that in a way could transform agriculture in future if this project is successful at the end. At the same time, it also opens opportunity for more research, even as towards this project, and also certainly to open many opportunities even for students who might also be interested in pursuing postgraduate studies. Maybe your PhD work could be related to this particular project. At the same time, it will also open many opportunities for postgraduate researchers who might also be interested in this project. And the second aspect of this project is to develop a synthetic chloroplast which could fix nitrogen at the same time produce vitamin B12. So, and this certainly will also help the field of agriculture and possibly might lead to replacement of fertilizer, because you now have a plant that could fix nitrogen by itself, that could produce vitamin B12, a very important vitamin in living organism, in living system. So you can imagine that it would probably remove the cost of getting fertilizers, and at the same time, which possibly also causes great pollution from agriculture. At the same time, this will also certainly lead to increase in crop yield. So, in summary, like one would imagine that such things as mentioned from this news are happening in science. And the first news in a way related to stems is related to stem cell research and developmental biology, while the second news is related to synthetic biology, where chromosomes and the artificial chloroplast is being developed. And these are interesting and fascinating fields in science, and all of this goes back to the fact that now we can edit genome. So this is the extent to which the world generally is trying to use several molecular biology tools that we now have, especially in genome editing, in manipulating genome to solve problems related to humanity and our lives. And this is quite huge, but in a way we all could have different opinion about such work as this. Like we could have, there are ethical concerns on some of these novel and interesting work and project that is being undertaken in science. I would like to hear your own comment and view about this news. But for me, I would say they are interesting and they are fascinating. Sharing it with you, I believe, also as get you informed about some of the things that is going on in science, because you cannot afford to be unaware about these things. You also have to just give them some thoughts, and at the same time I believe it could also help you to It could also help students who are trying to think about what to do, or let's say you are trying to think about, oh, what field, what do I focus on, which aspect do I focus on. But we get to know different fields in biochemistry, in biology, and also related to molecular biology, where you could probably focus on and get to do something very fascinating and interesting. So, thank you again for being on this channel. Thank you for staying subscribed, and I hope to share with you more fascinating and interesting topics in science or news, which I also have found interesting. Thank you so much. I appreciate you staying on the channel, and I hope to bring to you more interesting content. Thank you. Bye.